was in high school, I specifically remember Instagram was just starting, and I was excited by the mere fact that I can follow artists I admire. Since then, they started not only posting their artworks, but their processes and secrets on how they make their pieces well proportioned. There's one thing that they always mentioned that worked for them, and that is rotating their canvas. Or for digital artists, it's flipping their artwork. For most answers I've read, it is to help them spot mistakes easily. I think when you're familiar with your canvas too well, you become more biased in pinpointing your mistakes. There's definitely something off about your artwork you can't tell, but since you're so familiar with it, you feel like it's fine, you know? The younger version of me did try that and felt like, oh, maybe something magical would happen to my artwork. But after trying it on my own, nothing really happened. There's something that I must have been doing incorrectly that I felt like there was no need for me to include rotating a canvas to my process. And that was years ago. I was really stubborn and lazy to the point that I know something was wrong. Maybe an eye was higher than the other eye, or the nose was a bit lower than it usually was, but I despised the process of correcting. It was a tedious work to cover pieces you've already made and dedicate yet another time to an area of your artwork you've already given effort to. But as time goes by, I soon to realize that the artists I'm looking up to put tons of time and effort to their pieces, even if what it takes for you is to start again or ruin something that you thought was already pretty. And you're scared to think that you might not be able to replicate that again, or you might ruin your painting. Instead of being more comfortable of certain art poses or art subjects that I was already familiar with, I started to choose something that I know would put me in an uncomfortable situation. This led me to thinking that there was always something off with my paintings now, since it's different. And flipping the canvas was more than just flipping the canvas for me. It was more of like, I know something was wrong and I need to work on it and put effort into it. Yeah, it was so simple. I need to correct my mistakes. So we're gonna be great artists. We need to move on from the in denial stage, and acceptance is the key for that. So we'll start with this piece. I started really strong. I was looking for a reference photo that would challenge my skills in painting a portrait that is not just a typical pose a model would do, like a head directly faced towards the camera or a 3/4 portrait, right? I was scrolling on Pinterest and found this gorgeous photo, and it kind of caught my eye. I know for sure that it would be a challenge to nail this pose not only in sketch but in painting as well, so I got curious if I can do it. Mid-painting, as you can see, there were so many challenges I faced that I thought I wouldn't be able to get past through this phase. I know I still need lots of layers to refine their skin tones and also their eyes and their nose. And I noticed when I was starting this second phase, I need to repaint the nose again to move it slightly lower and probably the lips. And there were other minor changes that I need to clean up. But ultimately, I know the ugly face is so important. It's where when you feel like stopping, you don't stop. Or else you regret your vision not living to its full potential just because you got scared of it. And I was really glad I didn't stop. I was finally working on getting the details right. The paintbrush became smaller. The color started to become lighter. The eyes slowly started to look more like an eye. Midtones are finally there, and once again, there is hope. Before I continue on with this work, I paused for a moment to shift my perspective from being an artist to a normal viewer. So it's like seeing it for the first time. So this is my first canvas rotation, and you would definitely understand why first rotations are important. Earlier, the portrait already looked decent, but on landscape, it was easier for me to distinguish which ones should I further adjust. This orientation was unfamiliar to me, and that's a good thing. It's a fresh perspective, and I wasn't biased with my own work. It helps me shift my gaze to a normal viewer, trying to give myself constructive criticism that I can openly absorb as a painter. If you noticed, I moved the lips further on the left, I made the chin shorter, and adjusted the hairline besides the ears as well. It's amazing that even on landscape, it doesn't look awkward now. and I can't wait to rotate this canvas again, seeing how big or small the impact of correcting subtle changes meant. I think it was also time for me to work the background. It was definitely too warm, also affecting how the face looked, so making it cooler in tone made the eyes pop even more. So this is gonna be our first rotation of the canvas to see if something changed and if, the proportions kinda were corrected. I think I did a good job. Some of the things that I really like now is this one is more cool tone, not everything is warm tones, and it kind of made more sense in this face when I fixed this area. It also made the face more feminine and less boxy compared to the initial painting. I'm definitely going to refine this when maybe it's gonna be my last part of the painting, but now I'm gonna focus on this one. I'm gonna focus on creating this. I think what I'll be doing is, I'm gonna turn it back and I'm gonna paint like this, similar to how I did this initially, but then I'm gonna change it again to the landscape mode if I want to refine to see if I have some more changes or not. We're almost finished. I'm sorry I wasn't able to film the second phase. I wanted this to be done, so it was easier for me to not film. But I hope you enjoy my painting process and also my thoughts on how I created this. And I think I will see you to my next vlog. Like I always say, to art within us.